Let's look at the third page of Project 1. So we're given a spreadsheet titled Cost of Benefits, and it lists out itemized costs for different values for each employee type. So we're given director, assistant director, admin assistant, first clerk, and second clerk, and it details different types of benefits. For example, vacation benefit value, 8-day sick leave, Medicare, etc. It totals their benefits and then calculates the rates of their benefits. Our job is to just fill in the information that's missing from each of these 5 boxes. So let's get started. Luckily, they've given us specific instructions to kind of get us going on each type of problem. So starting at this first bullet under instructions, it says, for unemployment insurance, Social Security, and Medicare, multiply the annual wage by the percent at the top of the column. Now, if you'll notice that for unemployment insurance, the column is already filled in. For Social Security, the column is already completely filled in, but we do need to fill in this Medicare box. So we'll use this information to fill in that box. So for Medicare, we will multiply the annual wage by the percent at the top of the column. Now the percent is the rate. So for Medicare, the Medicare rate is 1.45%. For Social Security, the Social Security rate is 6.2%. Since we're dealing with Medicare, we'll multiply by the Medicare rate. Now remember, when you're dealing with percentages and you're using them in formulas or some sort of equation, you have to convert to decimal form. You can't multiply a dollar amount by a percentage. It doesn't make sense. It'd be like adding 2x to 3y. You're just not allowed to do it. So for Medicare, take annual wage and multiply by the Medicare rate in decimal form. So that takes care of that one. Let's move on to vacation benefit value. So for vacation benefit, divide the annual wage by 52, which is the number of weeks in a year, then multiply by the number of weeks of vacation. Okay, so for vacation benefit, divide the annual wage by 52. So take the annual wage and divide by 52. Now the reason they're saying to do this is that this will convert annual wage into weekly wage. So we know what each week of this person's work is worth. Now we multiply by the number of weeks of vacation to figure out just what their vacation time is worth. That will tell us the vacation benefit value for the specific employee. So that's how we will fill in this box below. Okay, let's keep going. So next we've got 8-day sick leave, and it says, for 8-day sick leave, divide annual wage by the number of working days in a year and multiply the result by 8. Okay, so for 8-day sick leave, once again we're working with annual wage. We take that number and divide by the number of working days in a year. We do that first, and once we have that, we multiply the result by 8. So just as before, for vacation, we took annual wage and divided by 52 to figure out the weekly value of this person's wages. Now we're taking annual wage and dividing by the number of working days to figure out the daily value of this person's wages. Now, how do you know the number of working days in a year? Well, let's consider. Ask yourself how many weeks there are. So ask yourself how many weeks there are, and once you answer that question, you'll just multiply by the number of work days per week, which is 5, standard number, right? Monday through Friday. So to figure out the number of working days, take the number of weeks and multiply by 5, and that'll be the number of working days that you use here. Okay, so once you get that, you'll be able to fill in 8-day sick leave. And that just leaves rate of benefits. So to determine rate of benefits, all we need to do is take the total benefits and divide by annual wage. Okay, so again, to find out rate of benefits, take the total benefits and divide by annual wage, and that'll tell us the rate. So notice that rate is the percentage, so you will need to convert to percent form. The number that you will get here is in decimal form, so convert to percent. And notice that for rate, we are actually creating a ratio, right? It's the ratio of total benefits to annual wage, and that tells you the rate of benefits. So again, for Medicare, take the annual wage, multiply by the Medicare rate as a decimal. For vacation, convert annual wage to weekly wage, multiply the number of weeks in a vacation. For 8-day, take the annual wage, convert to daily wage, and multiply by 8 for 8 days. And for rate of benefits, take the total benefits and divide by annual wage to get that rate.